How's it going, everyone? Tim here, Tier D Adventures. Hope everyone's on well there. As always, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. We are fresh back from Krawlers, and it has been a busy week. There have been some drops and everything else lately, so I wanted to kind of get back to it, get on the bench. And what we have here today is the new release from Redcat. This is their Ascent. This is Redcat's kind of dive into the LCG or more performance-based RTRs that we've seen dropping, or kits similar to like the SCX10 Pro or the newly released Vanquish VRD. Now this one does come RTR. It is not a kit version at this time. I did get to see a couple of these firsthand at Krawlers, kind of seeing how they did and getting some feedback from what everyone else was saying. So I decided let's go ahead and pick one up, because honestly, price point for RTR version of this Ascent, and that comes in two versions. It comes in this single body red here, and it does come in a split cab blue version. But I was like, for the price point, it's $289 RTR for this version and $299 for the split cab version. So you can have an RTR portal based performance or comp orientated truck. Now that is a very good price point, especially being RTR. First off, we've seen plenty of videos of unboxing, going through all the details and stuff like that. We've seen plenty of initial crawling videos. Just real quick over my initial thoughts and everything. Visually here on the bench, this thing looks great. The body here, very Datsun-like body we got going on here. It is very nice. It is short, just barely, right even there with the tires, high clearance, bumpers front and rear, very nice approach angles and departure angles. Again, the body looks great. Nice, narrow, and looking at all the stuff, we have a very nice detailed bed here. We have a fuel cell here, and we have some wheel wells and a couple body posts. So it feels great. It feels like a very nice rigid material, so hopefully don't have to worry about it cracking or anything else like that. And one cool thing, it does come with kind of clear windows. These are just some tinted stickers on here, so if you didn't want the tint, you could pull them off and have clear, or leave the tint on there, because I think it looks pretty good. So it'd be super easy to throw an interior in here or anything like that if you wanted to, or even get some points of this. I don't think it would be a problem at all if you are interested in taking this to more the Sorka point side of it. Honestly, I can't get enough of the body. I really like this body, so I think we are going to order a couple more of these bodies just to have around, maybe try them on a couple other trucks. I did pull it off and do a test fit how it looks visually on a couple of the trucks. It looks pretty good. So I think I'm gonna order a couple more clear bodies just to have on hand. So first off, cool thing with the body, we just have two body clips here in the rear, and then the body folds up. It has a nice little hinge system there in the front, and then if you want to take the body all the way off, you just kind of slide it forward, and boom, body's off. There's a nice little slip clip right there and the body pin, so I don't think you have to worry about any issues with the body or anything else coming off, stuff like that. Underneath here are all the changes. So this is portal base. This is the Gen 8, Gen 9 axles that they're using, and these axles have seen lots of changes over the last couple of releases, just as far as overall strength and durability and stuff like that, and overall feedback that I've just seen across the pages. Overall feedback seemed pretty good and stuff like that. So there's definitely plenty of aftermarket support and stuff out there for these axles, so that's nothing to worry about. You have plenty of parts available for upgrades, stuff like that, from axle housings, portal covers, axle shaft gears, the whole nine. Plenty of upgrades out there for these axles, and we'll dive into those in a later episode. Big thing here is the chassis. This is a flat rail chassis all the way through. Nice steel construction, so it is very rigid, and being steel, so it is going to have a little bit of weight for it. So I could definitely see either aftermarket jumping on it pretty quick, or even Redcat coming out with some lighter options, either be just aluminum or carbon fiber or G10. So definitely see that being some future options, and that'll be really cool to see stuff like that, especially with the shock towers, because the shock towers do bolt. I don't see a whole lot of positions on the chassis you can move the shock towers to, but being that you can remove them, I definitely see some aftermarket companies going after those shock towers, making some adjustments, adding some more mounting points, stuff like that, to adjust your angles or your ride heights and stuff like that. So definitely, again, another positive step there as far as your overall adjustment. And cool thing here, big noticeable deal, is that transmission. So we do have a transfer case with a Ford motor mount set up in here. So again, if you are looking to comp or get into points, you have a built-in, it has transfer case points right off the bat. Very nice looking Ford motor mount system here. I've been wiggling with it and playing with it. It doesn't seem to have any play. The transfer case looks really good. Plenty of clearance there, and don't have to worry about drive shafts hitting or stuff like that. So that is definitely very nice to see there. Looking down, at the links and stuff like that, links look very nice. really nice, good construction. They're not high clearance. They do have some bins there for clearance of components, but they're not high clearance themselves, with either bins at the skid plate or bins at the drive shaft. But overall, still seems to have a good amount of clearance, especially for, you know, just its out of the box state and stuff like that. So again, that'll be another thing we'll see the aftermarket companies jump after. I'm sure we'll see some high clearance links from Hardcore RC and others like them here very shortly. And we're going to go back real quick to that T-case to touch on one little point. So in your box, you have your little manual, you have some stickers, and then you do have a small spare parts bag with a couple body posts, but you also have some gear sets in there. So those gear sets are for the transfer case. Those gear sets you can swap in there, and I can't remember if it's under or overdrive, but it will equate, when you swap those gears out, it will equate to about 20% overdrive. So your front axle in some way or another will spin 20% faster than the rear axle. Now, one thing is these gears do appear to be plastic, so we'll put them in here and see how they do, but I'm guessing here at some point we'll see some metal upgrades, whether it be from Redcat or, again, other companies out there that are supporting the Redcat systems. As far as taking it out and stuff like that, we've seen plenty of stock videos and stuff like that. We do have some upgrades ready to rock and roll. We do have some proline BFG Krawlers here with some 4.9 anti-foams, and they're setting on some Shift Vision 1.9 wheels. I'm sure you have seen a couple changes, some close-ups here. This isn't exactly how it comes out of the box already. I have already pulled out the stock electronics, the stock servo, and the motor ESC setup. I know I'm not going to run the stock electronics long anyway, so I kind of just get it all out of the way out of the bat. So, I mean, as far as actual chassis performance, that's not going to be a huge factor in how it performs. I like better control than that stock setup there and the servo. Even though I have actually, again, seen really good feedback from the servo about it being pretty strong for an RTR servo, probably the strongest RTR servo that we've seen. And I actually did do a little bit of bench testing with the servo on there, and actually it did seem pretty strong, but we went ahead and swapped that out anyway. So as far as those upgrades go, I did, again, pulled out everything. So in here for motor ESC is one of the Hobbywing Fusion SE 1800 kV motors, ESC combos. And kind of going back to, you know, how does this affect overall performance? You know, the motor ESC here is basically, it is the same size as the stock motor, if not maybe a touch lighter actually. So again, I'm just kind of replacing what was already there. And then for servo, this was in a spare parts box. This is actually a Holmes SVH 650 4S direct power servo. So plenty of strength and stuff in there. What we are going to go ahead and do is go ahead and put in these gears and possibly change out the wheels and tires. So, all right, well, that was really quick and easy. So again, in the spare parts bag, you'll have 2 gear sets for the underdrive for the rear there. So the stock gear set that comes in it is 24 combo, and then you can step it up to a 1925, which equates to about 10% underdrive, and the last one in there is an 18/26 ratio, which equates to roughly 20% underdrive in the rear. So went ahead and just went with the 20% because honestly that's a good number. That's what I tend to run a lot of the times anyway, and 20% honestly isn't going to hurt anything if you do trail with it. It's not super excessive, so I think you'll be just fine there. I went ahead and threw on the wheels and tires just because I was like, you know what, I'm already there, you know, let's put them on there. So, and the last thing here that we'll cover just real quick are the shocks. So very nice looking shocks. I believe they are 90 millimeter shocks, which for me, portals, generally I run 80 millimeters. So we may switch those out at some point in time, but they are set up here. It looks like they can accept like a mini T, Lowe's mini T spring if you want to change your spring rates. But also they have a spring inside as well to control the dampening. So overall, the flex feel of the shocks, honestly, I kind of like it. And you don't have a whole lot there. Maybe just over half, maybe 3/4 tire there in the rear, and about 3/4 to 1 tires worth of flex in the front. And for me, that is spot on. I don't like any more than that. The max flex that I would generally run in any of my performance-based trucks, max is 1 tire. That's the max. That's my preferred. That's the way I really like it, because too much flex is bad, plain and simple. So body's back on, wheels and tires on. Man, honestly, that looks really, really good. The hubs are just a little bit wider than stock. I have a bag of hubs somewhere. I will find them. I'll probably narrow the hubs up just a little bit because actually I do have plenty of clearance before I reach the portal or anything like that. So I probably will bring that track width in just a little bit more here shortly after, but overall everything else is pretty good. The controller here, we will run the stock control and everything for a little bit, just give it a shot. And plus I'm out of receivers from a Noble. So we're going to rock this, and is able to, you know, change all those settings there. And it does have some endpoint adjustments there. So I went ahead and got that set, moved all of them to the max. Now that I have a very strong servo in there, I know it's not going to overheat or anything like that. So we went ahead and tuned those endpoints all the way up. So let's take it out and have some fun.